Hi everybody, my name is Saria. I am the current world record holder in 2 speedrunning categories of Joust NES, 50,000 points and 100,000 points. I am here to make a guide for you, specifically catered toward anybody who is entering the 2023 Big 20 race, which Joust 100K is a part of. I may make a guide in the future, trying to teach people how to play this game as quickly as possible, but this guide is going to be geared toward consistency, which is probably what the people who are racing this game in the Big 20 are more focused on. And I don't want to get too long-winded here and chase all of you off, and in case you're all wondering if the things I'm going to be telling you here involve lots of practice and lots of hard work and grinding that you are wondering if you should be spending on other games instead because this game is such a randomness fest, don't worry, because a lot of the things I'm going to be telling you here are extremely easy applications that are going to make a huge difference right away, and that you only need to try a few times to start to get the hang of and to start to ingrain into your strategies. So, before I get started walking you through an entire 100k run, I want to show a few things first that are going to be so important that are recurring throughout all of your runs in every single wave, every single level, and this is the first thing, which is how you approach spawning points, how you approach the beginning of every single wave, except for the egg waves. So, starting waves is one of the most important parts of Joust as a whole when you're trying to play it fast and consistently. And I can tell a difference between people who are just trying to figure it out on their own and people who have studied some of the faster runs on speedrun.com. Let me show you, when I'm watching people play Joust, what I tend to see in people who are trying to figure it out on their own. As you know, Joust is very, very unorthodox compared to the controls of a lot of games, and so you're just trying to wobble over here, get to a spawn point, and then just trying to stay over here so you can try to take advantage of different spawns, and then now we have to try and deal with the AI. Oh boy. It's so scary because they can do anything at any moment. What's gonna happen? What is he gonna do? Okay, cool. That one worked out. Where is he going? Come on. Now I'm going to show you the exact same wave, starting from the beginning, but using only 2 other things. These are so game-changing. These can completely transform the consistency of how all of your waves go, and it can minimize variance, because that is the most important thing, I think, in Joust speedrunning, is minimizing variance, covering as many options that your enemies can do as possible. Here we go. 2 techniques. The first one, bouncing off the top of the ceiling so we can get here quickly, and then this. This is how you control spawns. You see how different that is? Instead of me having to try and maintain my hovering above the spawn point and then maybe collecting the egg, it'll probably get away from me, and also I might accidentally bounce off the enemy and then I'll have to try and scramble back, and then I'll be vulnerable to any other enemies that are coming through the screen wrap or coming at me from the middle of the stage. Instead, you're jumping at the right time at a very, very forgiving window, such that you land on the ground after defeating an enemy and you immediately get their egg, unless you're positioned a little bit wrong, in which case the egg will get away, but you've still destroyed the enemy, and you're ready in case the next enemy comes. But you saw I started the wave out by bouncing off of the top of the ceiling, and that kind of immediately got me back onto the spawn point. That is one of the best possible ways to use this game's mechanics to change directions quickly. Because the way this game is designed with its movement, changing directions quickly is one of the hardest things to control, especially left to right. But this game makes the top of the ceiling a wall, and it immediately redirects all of your momentum straight down. And that actually improves your control, because when you're doing it intentionally, not only does it help you to get to a spawn point easier, there you go. That is an excellent way to minimize variance of your enemies. Because let's think about those red enemies, the red riders, the initial enemies of the game, the ones who move slowly. They are very hard to take care of themselves because they can do so many different actions at any moment. And most people try to approach them straight on. Chances are, as you've been grinding this game up to this point, you've been approaching every single enemy in this game going straight at them, like they've been right here, and they've been kind of wobbling around, and you're just trying to stay slightly above them, hoping that they just barely stay in place long enough so that you can take them out and get their egg at the same time. But they could either drop as soon as you get there, or they could suddenly lift and then kill you. But if you are way above an enemy, there's no way they can kill you. So you can use this game's mechanics to your advantage to give you safety and a guaranteed kill. You can flap quickly up to the ceiling, and they can only move a certain speed, especially the red enemies. And so they have no way to escape you horizontally, and so you can bounce off the ceiling. And this game's hitboxes and hurtboxes give you a large amount of room, a big window of forgiveness, such that you can still take them out, and they won't take you out. Let's do another wave and use the same techniques. Boom. Boom. Okay, now let's camp the top so we can be safe. Okay, he got away, but let's just do the same thing. Boom. Just stay at the top. And this guy, this is always a problem. Like, when they get caught by those hands, then they have even more unpredictability. Bad luck, bad luck, okay, that's better. Okay, now we can use the top to be safe. Use the top to be safe. Use the top to be safe. And these guys are always a problem. Use the top to be safe. Boom. There you go. Were those waves a problem for you before this? They do not... That happens. Alright, wave 9, same thing. Camp, 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 camp. Nice. Use the top to be safe. Oh, yeah, I missed, but I didn't die. I got a little lucky that I didn't die, but still, that gives me the lowest amount of chance to die. Just stay above them, use the ceiling to get down to them quickly. We can even use this ceiling if we wanted to. Boom, bounce, and he still got away. Pterodactyl, here he comes. And now we can stay above him to be safe, use the ceiling. We can even use the ceiling to get down to the egg quickly. Ah, see? Boom. Like if I wanted to get down to the egg faster, and also we can use the ceiling to get to the beginning of this egg wave quickly. Speaking of, let me show you how I do egg waves. This is the most consistent way, and it's the fastest way that I know of to do egg waves. So I believe the fastest way to do the egg wave is to start from the very top left platform. So now that we know how to use ceiling bounces to our advantage, we can get up there pretty quickly and pretty consistently. Unless we're already in kind of like a free fall in the middle of the stage trying to get around all those platforms, that's always going to be a bit of a pinball mayhem. It's hardest to change directions left and right, and I struggle with that often, even though I know how to use this game to my advantage. It's still hard. But say you're all the way down on the floor to start the egg wave, it's pretty easy to get up to the top left. Boom. And now, here we go. This is how I do egg waves. Just keep all your speed, bounce off of those. That's how I do egg waves. And this is a way that you can use walls to bounce you left and right, so you can control your left-right bounces also to change direction. So let's say you're trying to start the egg wave and you're kind of up here. Ceiling bounce. Boom. You're there. There you go. Okay, different position. This is a little weird. That's okay. You saw that my bird's legs snapped to the ledge there. That is still something that I find difficult to control. Let's do it again, one more time. Start top left, full speed, bounce, full speed, flap, flap. Bounce, keep going. Bounce, bounce, flap, 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 flap. 4 flaps there, starting immediately, but I'm not mashing those flaps. I'm just kind of doing them slowly, consistently. Top left, full speed, bounce, full speed, flap, flap. Bounce. Bounce, bounce, flap, 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 flap. Okay, corner bounce, but we're still fine. So you can do the flaps a little bit faster than that. Top left, full speed, bounce, full speed, flap, flap. Bounce, keep going, full speed, bounce, bounce, flap, 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 flap. You can start that first flap basically right after you do that second bounce. And now we use a ceiling bounce to get to the next spawning point. And so we're camped out. We can just jump slightly after we expect the spawns to happen. Bad luck there. Use the ceiling to camp this guy. And everybody's stuck down here. This is always going to be a little weird. Because you can't really have much... Because we can't really have that vertical safety here. And so they can kind of do whatever they want, and we can't really react much. So this is where you can start using your more aggressive strategies, because you just kind of have to... Or you can just wait for them up here. Wait for them to escape. Ceiling bounce to get to our spawn point. Hopefully they appear here. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, there we go. There's one. And now we can just use the ceiling to be safe. If you want, you can just keep doing that over and over and over. There's no harm in that. If you're not trying to get world record, there's no harm in just playing it as safe as possible by using the high ground, Anakin. My god. Okay, so those are some of the most important things to keep in mind while you're playing this game. In every circumstance, in every situation, you can just keep applying those things, and it will grant you more consistency, and you'll save time. And so I'm going to show you the beginning of this game a few times, the first 2 waves, because believe it or not, with how random this game is, you can start the 2 waves basically the same way every single time, as long as you do the first wave consistently. I'm going to show you how to do that first wave consistently, such that you can always complete wave 2 within 25 seconds or so, and always around 10,000 points. Let's do it. Okay, first off, go right to the top middle platform, ceiling bounce, you're there. Let's try again. Exact same beginning, ceiling bounce, get to just to the right of the center of the spawn point, bounce, bounce, straight, bounce over, camp the ceiling, get that guy at full speed, stay at this platform if you want. This is where I've learned all the patterns for wave 2. Okay, 2 at the top, here we go, ceiling bounce, boom, boom, and now this guy's just coming at me. Boom. Within 25 seconds, 10,000 points. Let's try again. Same beginning here. Boom, boom, bounce, full speed, flap, boom. Stay right here. Stay slightly right of the center of the spawn point so we get the eggs if they appear here. Okay. Here's a different one, so we make sure that we get them coming toward us straight on by hovering slightly. If I had just stayed on the ground there, then the 2 birds on the left would have fallen down. And so that's the reason that I'm hovering once all of the spawns happen, because I'm manipulating the enemy behavior. I only know how to manipulate the game up to wave 2, because there are a limited amount of patterns that you can get in wave 2 if you do wave 1 almost the exact same way every single time. Because this game advances its RNG on each frame of a level, and once that level ends, it locks in the spawning pattern of the next wave. So if we complete wave 1 within a very tight range of time every single time, we will get a very limited amount of things that can happen in wave 2, and I've learned all of the fastest and most consistent ways to complete wave 2 in those limited amount of patterns, such that I can start a run exactly how I want to every single time. There are a couple of patterns in wave 2 that are just bad, but most of them you can work to your advantage very, very well, and I'm going to show you a few more. Here we go again, wave 1, straight to the ceiling, bounce, slightly right of the center, bounce, bounce, wall, full speed, camp the ceiling, boom, stay here. You can take the top if you want to. You can try out a lot of things that make you more comfortable. Here's this pattern again. Stay here so that the enemies come straight toward me. Oh, see? I didn't stay up long enough that time, and so they dropped. But this is still fine. Look, I'm safe. I'm above them. So I lost some time, but it's still like within 25, 26 seconds. There you go. Let's try again. Bounce, slightly right of center. Bounce, bounce, full speed, wall, full speed, camp ceiling. I dropped a little farther that time. I don't know if the enemy behavior affects the difference of this pattern. I think it's just the frames. Okay, here's the best pattern. Stay, wait, and then go. That is the best pattern. You can mess it up pretty easily, especially if you go too early, or if you drop down too far. If you go up too high, then you might die, or one of them might get away. But if you do it correctly, then it's incredibly consistent, and it's the fastest pattern. Let's go again. Bounce off the top, slightly right of center. Bounce, bounce, wall, full speed, camp the ceiling, boom. Okay, here's this one again where I bounce off the ceiling, wait a little bit, bounce, full speed. I don't usually get that bird on the way up like that. I usually bounce on top of him from the ceiling, and that's more consistent, but I've been waiting a little longer than I should. And you might not get this wave 1 consistent like this right away. There is some execution involved here. I've just done it so many times that it's very natural for me. You might die on that bird a few times. You might bounce off of it. You might not get to him very quickly. It takes a little bit of practice. It won't bust your back, you know? All of this is quite easy, I think, to learn. Uh-oh. That's okay. That's okay. We're fine. We lost a life early, but it's still a consistent start. You won't do that very often once you get the hang of this. Let's do it again, one more time. There are a few other patterns that we haven't seen yet that I would like to show you how to deal with, but I don't want to spend too long on this. Bounce, bounce, full speed, camp the ceiling, and then you can just jump and then, you know. Here's this one again. There is a variant on this pattern where the last person spawns on the top. That one's a bit harder to deal with and a bit slower, but it's fine. You'll know how to deal with it when you see it. Here we go. One more. Bounce. Bounce. Full speed right away. And you need to be holding left when you're doing those flaps toward that last bird. I think that's consistent. I think that adds consistency. Okay, here's the best pattern. Go slowly, wait until that second one gets further up, closer to his friend, and then take him out. Take him out. Another one, another one! Ah, this is a bad pattern. Okay, so this one just is going to be slow, but you can use all the techniques that I've been talking about. Just stay high, stay higher than them. Unfortunately, now we're in the middle of the stage where there's so much terrain here that it's just going to be tough to do it. I like the levels that are more wide open, where there isn't all of this crap in the middle of the screen. I think that is part of what makes this early game actually a bit more tricky, and especially from waves 11 on. That part is brutal, because then you have all these platforms back, and you have less freedom with which to camp above enemies, and have a free line of attack straight down onto them. This is where things get more complicated. And I'm going to show you a full run now, so we can walk through how we can try and limit as much variance as possible in stages like this. Here we go. Let's see what pattern we get on wave 2. Alright, what's it gonna be? Okay. This one, I'll try and stay up longer this time, make sure they don't drop down. I lost all the eggs, but it's fine. That'll give me less points, because if you collect an egg before it lands on the ground, you get an extra 500 points each time. And that's very important for, obviously, getting to 100k faster, and especially 50k. But here's wave 3. This is where I have much less of a grasp on what's going to happen. See, I camped the platform. That one bird was trying to come after me early, and so I had to, you know, go away from the platform so I could not die. But it still worked out. I like to stay on the top platform at the beginnings of wave 3 and 4. I got bad luck there, but at least I'm still on the top, so I'm safer. I did a lot of butt bouncing there. That happens when you cross a bottom plane too low for your bird's legs to catch on the floor. But it's fine. I had the top there, so I could play it safe. And now this bird is being a little low. I would have liked to avoid the pterodactyl there, but it's okay. Now egg wave, so we bounce off the ceiling to get to the top left. And now we do it the way I've been doing it. Flap, 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 flap. Boom, boom. And now you can go to either one of these. I switch between the left and the right here. Jump, 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 jump. Use the top to your advantage to be safe, and that bird has had it. Goodbye. I like to go to the right here, but you can choose any one you want. On wave 8, I go to the bottom, because I see a lot of good patterns in the bottom on wave 8. Use the top to be safe, and I messed it up. That was really good luck on the spawns there, but I messed it up. It's okay. We're still good. I'm not going to take the bottom this time, because it's safer to be in open air here. Jump, 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 jump. Nice. Using the top to our advantage. Try and get the eggs, because if you die before you get the eggs, then you're going to lose points, because you see the points increase each time you get them. Up to 1,000 here. And that'll reset back to 250 if you die. 2, 3, 4. There's 50k right there. Pretty good patterns here. I've gotten decently lucky here. This is a pretty good run. No idea what this guy's gonna do. Bounce off the top, honestly, just to get down faster. It makes me feel better about myself. It might not have been faster. All right, top left for the egg wave. Do it the same way. 1, 2, 3. And these waves just never give you good patterns. It's definitely best to be on the top here just to play it as safe as possible. It seems like you never get good patterns on these waves. Okay, there we go. And now let's just try and take out these white birds as fast as possible. That was, he backed up his friend, and what are they doing? Yep, I didn't know for sure if I was going to bounce off the left of that bird or not. It's okay. Let's go back to the top. Play it safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. Okay, the game was mean to me there. Just barely too low. And he was mean to me there again because it perfectly covered the fact that I was going after that bird because he dropped right after that. I'll try and play it safe by using the ceiling. Now, I like to take the bottom here. You probably shouldn't, but I like how the birds coagulate into the center even if they don't spawn in the center here. And they tend to like to spawn in the center here pretty often, like that. Okay, where are they going? That egg's gone. That's a shame. Okay. Let's try the bottom again. Because I'm a fool. 2. Because I'm a fool. I'm a fool. Okay, and I had to get out of there. What is he doing? What is he doing? And that is 100k. 408. That was a no reset run. Just using all those strategies. Getting some pretty good spawning luck. And, obviously I was playing a little bit risky with my lines toward the birds again. But even if you didn't get 100k there, if you had a decently high point score, this Eggs Wave would get you at least close, if not put you over 100k right there. So, play survival until you get to this Eggs Wave, and then if you still are not under 100k, try and use the safest possible methods. Again, camp that top platform during the spawns. Pay attention of every single bird if you don't get good spawns as they come toward you from either side of the screen, especially the white birds. Those are the ones that can really get you. Or not the white birds, the white riders. I always say that. It's not really accurate. And so that was a very, very good 100k time, and it's not that I'm a god at this game or anything. I feel like it's quite easy to play this game optimally, or at least guide it in the best possible direction at every single moment, as long as you're keeping all of these things in mind that I keep in mind. I also got good luck there. You also have to get lucky. The reason I have a world record of 3 minutes and 40 seconds is mostly because I've grinded thousands of attempts to get the luck I need. You see how spawning luck can really make a difference. Let's try again. One more run, and then I'll let you be. Also, sorry I wasn't splitting there. I'm not used to actually having true 100k splits. Okay, let's see what we get in Wave 2. Okay. Yep, this pattern. Let's stay at the top. That bird, I think I went up a little early, but there he is right here. That's fine. That egg was gonna get away, so I had to play this a bit slower, but it's okay. Still 26 seconds. That went slower than I would like. But that's something that I do often, is when I see an egg is going to get away onto a very different part of the stage, I try and make it my priority to go for that at all costs before it gets away. Birds, they just do whatever they want. There's very little you can do to control birds getting away from you. But especially on these stages where there's so much division between different parts of the stages and it takes so long to get between them, try and prioritize keeping eggs and enemies from getting into separate parts of the stage. As long as you're not risking, you're not like putting too much risk on your life. Okay. Alright, Wave 5, get to the top left. Wait a sufficient amount of time. I've definitely gone too early plenty of times. Flap, 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 flap. And I'll go to the right this time. I went to the left last time. Will I get screwed for that? Nope. That's fine. Okay, use the top to your advantage to be safe. And now you can play it safe because you can cover this guy. He was blocked by the top of the ceiling he was on, and so there was less variance that he could try and screw you with. He could drop down, and he did, but I could still cover him there. Oh, I went too early there. I got lucky that he didn't spawn on the right. What's this guy gonna do? He is a god and a genius and a scholar and a god and a genius scholar. Now he can't get away from me because he blocked himself on the ceiling. Still slow and annoying. Okay, let's get there, get there, get there! It's okay. We would have been a little bit late to that left spawning point, but the ceiling got us there almost in time. So don't panic, use the ceiling. It's such a huge help. I got terrible spawning luck there, so I'm just gonna try and stay at the top, but then there's nothing you can do against that. That's just, Joust can just sometimes kill you, and there's absolutely zero you can do. But that time I played it safe, I just stayed above, tried to pay attention to every single action. I should have taken that slower, because that was the point where they had no ability to get away from me. So now this guy, okay, now he's free, now I can use the ceiling. Just try and stay away from the pterodactyl. Okay, this is nowhere near as good of a run, but we can probably still finish this in under 5 minutes if things go alright from here on. Still bad spawning luck, and that's okay. We use the ceiling. Wow, that's a big bounce. See? That is how quickly you can get up and down in this game. Alright, egg wave. You can see I've done it the exact same way every single time. It doesn't take that much practice to do it like this. These egg waves. Because this game is so solid and so responsive. 6, 7. Okay. There's a lot of bird bouncing that happens in these levels, and there's nothing I could do about that. Okay, we're fine. We still have 4 lives. Even with all the extra dying I did early on here, that was annoying. I'm playing it risky here, and it worked out. You don't need to play it that risky. I'm just still... I've got the go as fast as possible strategies ingrained in my head. Decent spawns there. Try and go up as soon as possible to cover all of his options. I did a bounce there. Pterodactyl's coming. Always stay aware of the pterodactyl. Especially in these later waves. The longer it goes on, you know the pterodactyl's on his way. Or her way. Or their way. Okay. See, the birds are collecting here, so I can kind of take advantage of them. I thread a needle there, and that was a little risky, but... Okay, there he goes. That was... Okay, and I waited so I could keep my invulnerability there, but I'm getting really screwed here. That's okay, just play it safe. Pterodactyl's coming. The pterodactyl's timer resets every time you die, and if they're on the screen and you die to another bird, they just disappear. And the pterodactyl can appear as long as the score is on the screen for the last egg. So they can appear really late, and it can be very annoying. See, I got a little screwed by trying to do the bottom spawns there, and look at them. They seem to fall on a very similar timer. They seem to make those decisions on a similar timer. It's interesting. So if one of them is about to fall, you can assume that a lot of them are about to. Let's get this egg really quick. And I just completely messed up my view of the field there. No sub 5 here. That's okay, you don't need that. You don't need a sub 5 to be on par with the field here. And goodbye. And there's the egg wave. I don't know if I'm home free yet, and see, I got blocked off by the ceiling and everything, but I'm just gonna play it how I know. I'm not gonna try and get into a situation where I have no muscle memory and possibly bounce off of corners and walls for 6 years. And I still am not at 100k. It's okay. Let's just try and get good spawning luck. Using skill. 8. Okay, and now let's just play it safe. Let's use the high ground. And all we need is one more bird kill, and... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no! Okay, we're good. 549. So even though that run was a lot less straightforward than the last one, this is more of how a general reset run would usually go. Still sub 6. I tried to work you through all of the things you should be thinking of at all moments. I'm probably missing a ton of things, and Joust is a speed game of constant adaptation, constant reaction, which is why, in order to play consistently, and to consistently set up fast runs, you have to take every single option possible to limit variance. Take away their options to kill you, have as many options as possible to kill them without dying yourself. And the best ways to do that is to, at the beginning of the level, stay on the high ground spawning points, unlike I was doing in the later levels, and just bounce every single time in case they appear there until the last one appears. And so even when they appear there, you'll just end up back on the ground, ready to jump again. Anytime there's free space, stay way above the enemies, and then you can use a ceiling bounce to change directions up and down quickly, so you can cover all of their horizontal speed. It's obviously way harder to do that with the white riders, but even then you can see how useful it is against them. You can still use so much speed bouncing up to down to cover their horizontal speed. It's great. If you're in one of those waves where there's ground absolutely everywhere and all of the enemies are down in the bottom area and you're on the top, just feel free to stay on the top and wait for them to get into one of those little openings and just play it as safe as possible. Always better to be up high than to be below the enemies. If you are stuck with them down in the lower areas, then you can feel free to wait for them to get stuck under one of the ceilings, and so that removes their ability to suddenly go up as you're trying to kill them, because you can just wait at the edge of that ceiling until they get to you, and even if they drop down, then you can drop down and get them too. If there is anything that you feel like you should practice, then it should be waves 1 and 2. Get wave 1 so consistent that you'll also start to see all of the exact same patterns in wave 2, so you can practice those patterns and make those consistent so that you can start all of your runs the same way every time. You can get a lot of points, and you can do it all within 30 seconds, and once you get to that no reset run in the Big 20, then you'll have so much less you have to worry about. Because that's why I'm making this. I know that Joust isn't going to be one of those games where you feel like you have to use save state practice to get that really, really hard trick that could cost you 5 minutes against everybody else. That's not what this game is. I'm trying to maximize your practice time for every Big 20 game here, and also give you the best chance to play this game quickly. Because I believe that all of you have the skill necessary to pick this up really fast, and once you do, then hopefully it'll be such a load off of your shoulders, there'll be so much less that you have to worry about going wrong, or that you feel like you have so much less control of than any of the other games. Hopefully this will help you. I really, really hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, or you can shoot me private messages on whatever place you want to. I have a Twitch channel where I've also been streaming this game lately because I've been so inspired by the huge wave of runners playing it for the Big 20. Best of luck, everybody. I hope you enjoy this game and all the others as you're preparing them. Those who aren't in the Big 20, I hope you enjoy this game if you pick it up. I hope you're all well, and I hope you have a great one. All the best, everybody. Dream on, friends. Peace. Thank you.